Good evening, everyone. So, what's on today's agendas today? Well, pretty self-explanatory. Onision AKA Onion Boy is at it again with his feminist ways. Can you really call it feminism, though? Let's just be honest. I mean, he's already admitted before that he's a feminazi, so his feminazi ways are at it again. I don't even know where to begin with this guy. I mean, he literally is downright the definition of a psychopath. They literally need to replace the dictionary and put in his name. Because, for fuck's sakes, the shit that he's posted, the shit that he's done, it's just, it's terrifying. It's not even funny, it's not even worth laughing at, it's just downright terrifying. So, the video that I'm responding to is called ANTI-FEMINIST FAIL, which is a reply that Onision is doing to a reply of Blair White's reply to Onision. So essentially it's a reply to a reply to a reply from a reply. Got that? English harding. So let's get right into the core of this whole thing right from the start. And I gotta warn you all right now, this is going to be a fucking bumpy ride, and I can tell already just from the start of this that it's going to be nuts.
For some time now, people have been demanding that I respond to this girl. She has an itty-bitty channel, so I didn't really want to pay her any attention, as giving her attention, of course, only benefits her.
I love how you try to justify this by replying to her. Like, oh my god, all my fucking followers have been sending me this notification that I need to reply to her because reasons. I have to appeal to my audience. And yeah, sure, I'll give you that one. You can have that cookie, because I mean, if you don't appeal to your audience, you're not gonna fucking last on YouTube at all. So I'll give you a little bit of that. But putting up how many subscribers she has really doesn't prove anything at all. Look at me. I literally only have like what, 2 subscribers at the making of this video at most, and I'm replying to you. Just because your subscriber count is smaller than that doesn't mean that your voice is smaller. Or quieter, for that matter. Just because you have well over 2 million subscribers on your Uh-Oh Bro channel, which is what this video is from, doesn't mean that your voice is louder than anybody else's. It just means that you just get to a broader audience than anyone else when it comes to your feminist ways or whatever your fucking other content is.
But after enough harassment from you people, I've decided to finally respond to her video. Her title is Onision Rages About Feminism and Looks Stupid. Before I get started actually responding to your video, I want to congratulate you on the fact that you're not forced to wear a burqa, thanks to, of course, feminists.
What? Burqa is a religious item for the Muslim community, which started in the Middle East, which is well over hundreds of thousands of millions of miles fucking away from the United States. Wearing a burqa is a religious item for that of the Muslims, and you're sitting here saying, "Oh yeah, thanks to feminism, you don't have to wear this anymore." What? Like history, bro? Because I mean, for fuck's sakes, if let's just say magically that there was no transportation between islands whatsoever. There's no planes. There's no ships. Nothing. Nothing. No one gets across and travels across the world. There's no way. Let's put that in theoretical terms. The only people that would be here in the United States right now would be the Native Americans and the Aztecas in Mexico. I'm trying to understand this because the Muslim society didn't really even get boosted until the late 1900s here in the United States. I mean, because like, what the fuck? I mean, I'm sure that there have been more beforehand, but even then, like I said earlier, let's get rid of all the travel. Let's say traveling's theoretically impossible. Burqas would not exist in the West. Sorry, Onision, but you're fucking tripping already. Burqas would not exist in the West because the simple fact is that's a Middle East thing. And I'm sure I'm going to have to make that point more than once with you if I ever have to reply to you again. Or maybe later on in this video, who knows?
Now prepare yourselves for statements from a woman clearly benefiting from many feminists who came before, shitting all over them, because after all their hard work, she has the privilege to live in a society that is nowhere near as harsh to her as it was to many women who came before her.
What? Piggybacking off the benefits of feminism, Yeah, okay, maybe if she was going out voting, you could make that claim. But again, the past is in the past. Stop dragging stuff from the past and saying that it's here in the present. That's not how it is nowadays. Yeah, no one is denying that back then feminism was actually worth the shit and actually fucking did something about women's rights. Because back then, yes, women were oppressed. But what about today? Literally. And let's flip the scenario then. What about your fucking hat? Guaranteed that's probably from Taiwan. So why are you piggybacking off the Taiwanese? Huh? Why are you piggybacking off of them? That's slave labor, man. Why the fuck are you doing that? Does this standard only work for the people you're talking against? Or does this also work for you too? Like, what the fuck, dude? I mean, I can't even believe that you have to sit here and try to guilt trip everyone. You literally sit here and try to guilt trip everyone like you're on a fucking horse that's better than everyone else's. Get off the fucking high horse and fucking come back down to reality, dude, because you're fucking losing it. If not, I've already lost it already.
Hey Onision, so I heard you like being cucked.
That's how you're gonna start this video, with something you heard? What I actually enjoy is having sex with two amazing women, and I do so with zero remorse. Maybe do more research in the future, so you don't appear so ignorant.
So,
maybe you need to do some research as well, because Blair White is actually trans. Oh my god. The crowd goes wild. Dude, and that's not a good thing either, because that is not how it works. That means you're not good enough to pleasure your own wife. That's not something you should really be proud of, because that's your wife, man. You should be able to pleasure her. And since you're saying that it's with two, having your wife with another woman, that's completely against like fucking everything. I don't understand how people can sit here and say that they're married to someone and then just instantly just say, "Oh, well, I like it when they fuck other people with me or without me." Dude, what the fuck? That's not really something to be proud of, because that means that you're inadequate. That's literally what it means. You're inadequate. There's no other way to put it. You're just inadequate, and the only reason why they're with you is either because you're leeching off of them or they're leeching off of you, and it's really fucking sad, dude. It really is fucking sad.
in case you don't know who Onision is, he's basically what happens when you combine a Pokemon hentai fetish, a spare chromosome, and 20-something years of sexual repression.
So she just threw all Down syndrome people under the bus in order to take a jab at me. As for the alleged 20 years of sexual oppression, I lost my virginity at age 14, and I've had sex literally thousands of times since then. But you get a gold star for trying.
Oh wow, bravo, you lost your virginity at 14. Does that make me better because I lost it sooner than you did? See? Like, what the fuck does that matter? Doesn't matter when you lost your virginity or how many people you've had sex with, dude. And that's not even bragging rights, alright? And considering that you claim that you've had sex thousands of times, you would think that with those years and years of experience and those thousands and thousands of times, you would know how to pleasure your own wife. You would know all the buttons to push with her. Ugh. But that's not the case, is it? I don't even know. Like, dude, it's just fucking sad. And you also, I love it how you're like, again, you're trying to guilt trip her again. Oh, now she's mocking everybody who has Down syndrome. Dude, it's a fucking joke. Jokes are not meant to be unoffensive. All jokes are offensive in some way, shape, or form. Literally. Just fucking Google every joke in existence and I can guarantee you, damn near guarantee you, that you will find some section of that joke that it would offend, say, a certain person or a certain group or a certain whatever.
Feminism is the advocacy of women's rights on the grounds of political, social, and economic equality to men.
Congratulations, you read a dictionary definition. I can do that too.
Did you just use Urban Dictionary in response to me using an actual definition? Do you actually consider Urban Dictionary a credible source? Because if so, this is going to be a rough ride for you.
This is going to be a rough ride for you as well, and it's already turning to be a fucking rough one. We've literally hit Baja Trail levels now, motherfucker. Urban Dictionary is the only one that has the definition of cuck. Cuck is not considered an official word, and it's not recognized in the English language whatsoever. It is slang. That's what Urban Dictionary was designed for slang. Same case with literally every fucking word. But this also, with the dictionary definition of shit, with that, does that mean, when I say, oh, look at that fag, Am I referring to a pile of sticks used for fuel? I don't think that's what that word means anymore.
The definitions I use are part of the foundation of the English language. Literally anyone can go to Urban Dictionary and define whatever they feel like, however they want. And how about I prove my point right now, to really get you to understand how foolish you're being. Oh wow, looks like Blair White isn't defined yet. Since you seem to think Urban Dictionary is such a credible source, let's define Blair Whites as black and white wildcats you tend to see roaming city streets covered in their own vomit and urine. Make sure you tweet at Onision when you posted this definition to Urban Dictionary, so we can all celebrate these wonderful Blair Whites and their majestic feline ways.
Wow, I was not expecting this from you, Onion Boy. You're literally going to sit here and now try to publicly basically shame somebody. Wow, that's a low, even for you. I did not think you were capable of this. It's fucking hilarious too, because your followers actually went and did it, and a couple of them actually got through with Urban Dictionary. But see, again, Urban Dictionary is slang, so we could literally say that Onision means a fucking dumbass who thinks he knows it all, and yet is literally an IQ that is undeterminable because it's so fucking low. There we go. Let's tweet at Blair White then. Yay! Do you see how fucking stupid that is? Do you see? And the double standard here, let's flip it again. Another double standard. If Blair White was to sit here and say, oh, let's do what I just said, you would literally sit there and publicly shame her and say, wow, now you're publicly attacking me. Dude, you're a fucking idiot. I mean, I'm sorry. I try my best not to sit here and try to trash talk people when I do these kinds of things. But with Onion Boy, it's next to fucking impossible when he himself is literally doing it to literally everyone. You literally cannot go through in a single one of his videos without seeing him trying to literally shame someone and try to, like, publicly fucking humiliate them. Well, Onion Boy, you've already done an excellent job of that of yourself, being that of a feminazi and that of being the guy who dressed up in a banana, and also the guy who fucking dry humped fucking concrete. So, little slow clap for you.
It's because people say stupid shit like, egalitarianism is better than feminism, even though it's basically the same thing. They both call for equal rights.
Actually, it's not the same thing, and the very definition that you cited in order to decimate everyone shows that. Feminism operates in the sphere of women's rights. It's right there in the definition. Egalitarians are concerned with the rights of everyone regardless of skin color or gender. It's a very important distinction to make, and it's one that you could have easily made if your IQ was anywhere above -6.
Wow, that would be a really good point you made if I didn't literally say basically the same thing, even though it's basically the same thing, even though it's basically the same thing.
Actually, it's not the same thing.
Instead of literally the same thing. You then go on to say,
it's a very important distinction to make, and it's one that you could have easily made if your IQ was anywhere above -6.
Meanwhile, again, you seem to want to be perceived as a credible person, and yet you stated I have an IQ that doesn't exist. If you only took the time to Google it, you of course would have known that.
Just because feminism in the definition is that of equality of women does not mean that that's what it stands for anymore. Like, seriously, I really wish that dictionary words could be changed, and we could, like, request a word to be changed, but that's probably not gonna happen because fuck change of language, and fuck the way the world works. But hey, egalitarianism literally is completely fucking different from that of feminism, and you to sit here and say they're basically the same thing, it's like comparing apples to fucking trucks. There's no comparison. Literally. Has an egalitarian ever gone out of their way to fucking stop a men's rights organization that was talking about male suicide rates? Didn't think so. Did a fucking egalitarianist sit here on national television and lie their fucking ass off about how they're so oppressed in the world? Didn't think so. So there's a huge difference between egalitarianism and feminism, especially the feminism that we see today. When the definition of feminism was created back and then, yeah, it was actually about the rights and equal rights of women, because again, women were actually oppressed back then, just like black people were.
Over 1,000 people voted. 69% of feminists believe that women are equal to men.
Whoa, look at Onision dropping truth bombs with a Twitter poll. Much science, very truth.
Since that time I made the video, the poll got over 12,000 votes. Regardless of how valid or invalid you think a Twitter poll is, you're still looking at 12,000 people who stated what their beliefs are. 11% of the people who voted, identifying themselves as feminists, said that women are superior, and 15% voted inferior. 11% and 15% almost cancels itself out.
Is Twitter a form of science? No, it's not. It's a form of social media. And also, your poll is completely biased because it was only applied to with your fans. Plus, the question itself, do you think feminists are equal, superior, or inferior to men? So it's undermining feminism right now. 74% of your fucking fans already believe that feminists are equal to men, that females are equal to men. So this undermines the need for feminism. You literally just debunked yourself through your own Twitter poll. That's the two hugest issues with this poll. One, it's heavily biased because it was only included with your fans. And it was also a small sample size. 12,000 people is a pretty fucking small sample size. Two, it was not asking if women were oppressed. It was asking if feminism was needed in the world. And 74% of your fucking fans, of your own fans that like your content, that are followed to you, said that they're already equal. What the fuck? Why? Like, you just literally undermined it. Like, you just literally undermined feminism. You literally just fucking crushed yourself in an instant.
We like to invalidate things on Twitter when they don't agree with us, but you and I both know well, just because something's on Twitter doesn't mean it's invalid.
So does this include polls that you don't agree with, that you have complete disregard for? Is that it? Like the whole statistics of false rape accusations being anywhere from 10% to damn near 50%? It's polls like that. Like, are you sitting here saying that? Because, you know, it would undermine everything that you're just saying right now if you don't say yes. Literally.
This is one of many examples of important statements made on Twitter that is not degraded by the fact that it's on the site. You disregard that poll because it's simply not convenient to you. People utilize the same tactic on a regular basis. Polls don't agree with them, they immediately try to invalidate them. And you ignoring 12,000 people, that takes a special kind of stubbornness.
It also takes a special kind of stubbornness not to realize that your poll is completely irrelevant to that and basically undermines how polls work in the scientific community. I mean, seriously, dude. They don't sit here and make polls over Twitter when it comes to, like, making, like, fucking anything whatsoever. Whether that poll is, do you believe in God or not, or anything like that. You're undermining science, dude. And it's fucking sad. But, hey, what do we expect with somebody with an IQ of -6? But, hey, I guess we can't really use that joke, can we? Because apparently you're not someone who recognizes jokes whatsoever. But, hey, what do I know?
You know, Onision, it's really interesting you're making this argument. I mean, do you remember when you said this?
Personally, I've always felt that women are superior to men.
That lack of self-awareness, man.
Just one request, work on your editing skills.
Personally, I've always felt that women are superior to men.
That lack of self-awareness, man.
You keep cutting off statements. And it's super annoying because it makes it look like I'm the one who doesn't know how to properly edit videos.
You know, you may be someone who knows how to edit videos, but you're clearly somebody who can't go an entire sentence without jump cutting. Seriously, people, what is with people in jump cutting? It is so fucking annoying. I literally just sit here and I see it and it's a fucking pet peeve of mine. If I was a feminist, I'd be sitting here going, triggered, 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 triggered.
When I'm responding to your video. As for you pointing out that I think women are superior to men, I think most women are superior to men.
And here we go. This is literally where his feminazi ways just shine through, and just he puts a fucking spotlight on himself of it, and it's just like, it's just sheer fucking gold. Let's not interrupt him anymore up to the point of where it's a good time to stop, because holy fucking shit, this is the gold mine. This is the section that I really wanted to reply, but I'm someone who replies to the entire video, not just half of it.
But as I established in previous videos, a belief that a gender is superior does not equate to hypocrisy when a person is fighting for equal rights. Just because I think ice cream is better than cake doesn't mean I'm going to try and stop people from eating cake. In fact, if they're both consumed equally, that's fine with me. I just personally like the ice cream more. So the point you were trying to make was actually completely pointless. And as you obviously don't know, I identify as a feminazi. You should really watch my previous videos before speaking of me further, because you clearly don't know what you're talking about.
Alright, so, this is the grand cookie. I hope everybody's sitting down and ready. You got your fucking coffees ready. This is going to be the longest section I probably will reply to Mr. Onion Boy's video. First off, women are not superior to men. Women are equal to men. And you've already established that with your poll. But in a sense of biological standards, men are stronger than women because of something called, balls. Our balls produce testosterone, and since when women do not have a way to enhance the testosterone, their muscle mass does not build as fast as what men does. So with us as men, our testosterone levels are damn near quadruple that of women's. So we build muscle mass much faster, which makes us stronger. We're also, thanks to years and years and years of us fucking working all kinds of fucking mining jobs, men are naturally stronger and better suited to handle much heavier equipment and much tougher tasks. Also, men are expected to be the providers of the family. So we are engraved at a very young age that we have to provide for the female. And if feminism is really about fucking fixing all this, then why have we not seen it? Why have we not seen it at all? Instead, what we see is that women need to be built up at a higher podium than that of men, even though they literally have the same standards as men, have the same laws as men, everything. Everything is the same. It's just, when it comes to women, to an extent, women are more compassionate because they can relate easier, thanks to things like biological reasons such as, periods and hormonal trans changes and shit like that. I mean, literally. And then with you sitting here, this is the glory cookie of you calling yourself a feminazi, which is literally perfect, because this is probably the first time I've ever heard anybody admit that they're a feminazi. So I don't have to go through and sit here and explain all this to you, but with you being the extremist of feminism, this is why I say you're much lower than that of a feminist, because you take it to the absolute extreme, and that is not necessary whatsoever. It's the same case with a Muslim and ISIS. Yes, they both believe in the same thing, but Muslims don't take it anywhere near as extreme as ISIS does. But, hey, that's kind of a poor analogy, but close enough, right? And another thing is, Onision, if women are so fucking great, then why the fuck haven't you gotten a sex change yet? Can you not afford it? Because I could believe that. Hey, getting a sex change is not easy. And I also love how you're saying this kind of shit to a trans woman. Do you understand what that means? Trans, which means they switch, which means she started off as a man. What the fuck, dude? Another thing is, Onion Boy, I can't really see you as someone who even... You're a feminist easily, okay? Yeah, sure, you can claim to be a feminist. You can say you claim to be a feminazi, but you're a fucking poor one. You are pathetic and slow on everything, because you literally sit here and repeat the same thing over and over and over again. You're worse than a broken record player. You're worse than a fucking nails on chalkboard, because, dude, you literally sit here and repeat it, and I have to do this again, because you're literally bringing it up again, about how women are so superior to men, when in fact they are equal to men, and your own poll proved it. And at the same time, you know what? I've gone on about this for 4 minutes now. I think this is enough of a section now. So let's call it and see what the fuck else Onion Boy has to say. Oh, and another thing is, you clearly need to do more research yourself, because you would realize that Blair White, again, for the 4th time I think I've said this, 3rd or 4th time, Blair White is a trans. So you need to do your own research as well, dude. And I also love this about feminists as well in general. It's not just Onion Boy who, Onion Boy especially is the worst of it all, because he also has a previous video which I would love to reply to, but it's honestly, it's far too old, and it's been debunked enough as it is, which is why I'm starting off with a fresh start with this one. But I love it how he basically sits here and says that any woman who disagrees with feminism is the lowest of the fucking low. It's just completely fucking pathetic in his eyes. And it's really sad because you say that women are so superior and so powerful, but anybody who disagrees with you or thinks even the slightest difference of you is pathetic, is lower than you, is like what the feminists say, quote unquote, brainwashed by the patriarchy, end quote. But hey, you know, what do I know? Plenty of fucking women have sat here and said that you're nothing but a fucking dumbass who thinks that women are superior, but when a woman sits here and proves you wrong, or even in Blair's case, whether a trans proves you wrong or debunks you in a pretty damn good way, if I do say so myself, and then sit here and say, oh, well, they're trash, they're dirt, they're fucking this, they're that, is really fucking sad, dude.
You prioritize your closed-minded personal experiences over the fucking truth.
Yeah, and you are prioritizing your allegiance to a dictionary over the truth. The word feminism was created in the 1890s. 1890s! To pretend as if the movement hasn't changed since then at all, or to stick your bobblehead so far in the dirt that you don't see that the actions of third-wave feminists have greatly turned off a lot of people from the movement, is stupid.
She's clearly stating that the definition of feminism is not accurate to what feminism represents today. And she's only able to do this because she immediately wrote off this poll that thousands of feminists voted on, clearly pointing out that the majority of feminists believe in equality.
That's not the case at all, Onision. Again, feminism, she makes the most excellent point ever, that feminism is nowhere near the same as what it was back in the day to what it is today. You literally undermined it in the entire thing. And it's not that she disregarded the poll. She brought it up in her own video and has already debunked it once, but you keep throwing it up, so I have to keep on debunking it again because you keep bringing it up. Again, your poll undermines it. Women are already equal, so feminism has already won, dude. Feminism has already won. Bravo, the battle's over. The battle is over. Bravo. Bravo. But it wasn't because of third-wave feminism. And again, she made the most excellent point I've ever heard anybody say. You're literally sticking your head in the mud and going, la 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 la, I can't hear you, I can't hear you, feminism is the same as what it has been for the past 100 and some years. No, it's not. I'm sorry, it's not. It's nowhere near the same as what it was. It's the same case with the way, we can even say the same thing the way it is with religion. Like, look at how many Christians, they're supposed to be stoning people to death. Are they doing that nowadays? Hell no. But again, Onion Boy, you're just making yourself look bad again. Because you seem to think that this poll is valid. Like you're some kind of scientist. And it's not, dude. It really isn't. And I hate having to bring this up again. Your poll on Twitter is biased. Completely biased. Because it was only based upon with your fans. And it's not a fucking, it has a small pool chain, and it does not sit here and say that feminism are for equality. It's asking if women are already equal or not, or already are superior or inferior to men. So, your poll, you misworded your entire poll.
That's how people continue living their lie. They're faced with facts, they immediately state it's invalid, and they continue their narrow-minded mindset that's focused on a negative rather than a positive. Here's a couple feminists at a rally. They look peaceful, they look happy, they no doubt believe in equality. But this is super boring, right? There's no violence, there's no screaming, there's no chaos. So of course we'll never hear about it in the news, because we are a society that loves to focus on the negative. If you guys have any experience with watching the news, you will very likely 100% agree with me. So what—
Okay, so this part, yeah, I will admit that's a little hard to disagree with, but again, those women that you've listed are not like Rebecca Watson or Rebecca Black or Anita Sarkeesian or any of those that are loud feminist voices. Those are two people, random people that I can't even know I don't even know their names. So, like, I get what you're saying. Media loves the negative because that's what it thrives on, because that's what gets views, that's what gets them seen, and all that shit. So they just love the negatives, yes. But this is not the media, this is YouTube, and we can see clearly from videos all across the world that what feminism really is actually nothing more than a men's hate cult.
What do? We turn feminism into something like this. This awkward, weird situation becomes one of the only things we want to focus on when we think of feminism anymore. Here's a normal, peaceful rally. Someone holding up a sign, "Stop killing women," which guess what? Many women are killed for doing things that men can do without being punished. One example is this man beating a woman for allegedly removing her burqa. Meanwhile, that man's free to walk around without a burqa. And obviously that is one of many reasons why feminism was and continues to be important in the world in general. But back to my point, the majority of
Okay, so you're comparing something in the Middle East that is completely irrelevant to that of the United States. That's not something that happened in the United States. And you know for a fact, Onision, and you can't sit here and say that you don't, because you know for a fact that if any fucking man were to try this kind of shit, would literally get his fucking ass handed to him. How many psychological tests have there been where men have abused women and literally every fucking sex has came to them, to the woman's aid to try and stop the men, but it's been the exact opposite when it becomes the female beating the shit out of the men. Again, this feminism, yes, is needed in third world countries, but not in first world. Like, if you guys would literally, I'm serious on this, literally, if you started shifting all of your focus from first world problems to third world problems, where women are actually oppressed, where kids are actually being sold to fucking marriage because of religious beliefs, or just because they can be, or fucking women's slavery in like Africa, or child slavery in human trafficking. If you guys were literally sitting here fucking talking about that, and talking about the third world areas that are huge problems, and actually going out and trying to do something in those areas, instead of trying to sit here and say that that kind of shit reflects everywhere. You can't sit here and say that something that happened in the Middle East is the same that would happen here in the United States. It's completely fucking it completely fucking undermines our entire society. Our society is completely different from that of the Muslim community in the Middle East. God, I couldn't even fucking English because I'm fucking raging too hard. If you and I'm serious on that. If you feminists would literally sit out there and say, "Hey, what these fuckers are doing in Iraq, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, what they're doing to women, telling them that they have to wear these burqas because religion, because they're property of men, that's not right," then yeah, fucking more power to you. Fucking great. Fucking everyone would be behind it then. But the reason why no one with half a fucking brain is behind feminism is because they know that instead of sitting here saying that that's what's going on in the Middle East, you would sit here and push agendas that are going on in the Middle East and push them and act like they're happening here in the first world countries like the UK, the US, and such, so on and so forth. Like, what the, and you've just proven it again, because that article that you pulled up was literally from fucking Saudi Arabia. That was literally from Saudi Arabia. So yeah, that guy's free to roam around because that's allowed in Saudi Arabia. Go to fucking Saudi Arabia and fix it then if you're such a fucking problem with it, dude. Fucking it. And another thing is, where the fuck were you feminists? Where the fuck were you actual feminists when people like TJ Kurt, the amazing atheist, were out there fucking donating to like these feminist groups and feminist charity groups that were actually going out and helping fucking women that are actually oppressed in these fucking areas? Where were you on that one?
Feminists believe in equality and wish to fight for women to have equal rights. I proved that in a poll that you conveniently ignore. Meanwhile, you have no poll of your own proving feminists believe any different. So I think for now, we'll go ahead and go with the only person who actually has evidence.
Your poll is not evidence, Onision. Again, I have to go over this fucking again, and you keep pulling your poll out like that's some kind of fucking trump card. It's not, dude. Sorry, but it's not. Again, as stated earlier, your poll was completely biased. Your poll was too small of a pool size, yada fucking yada. Why do I even try? Why do I even bother? But I guess if you keep bringing it up, I'm gonna have to keep saying this, so I sound like a broken record player myself.
Feminism is not synonymous with women's rights.
Oh my god, did you really just say that? It's in the definition. The definition is the same in the Cambridge Dictionary. It says basically the same thing in the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, and Dictionary.com also agrees. If you went to a college and you didn't respect definitions, you would flunk out.
Again, The feminist definition in every dictionary book, no matter which one you pull from, is not the same definition of what feminism is today. And I also love how every fucking feminist thinks this is a trump card. Can we seriously have a fucking, like, poll or whatever to have the feminist fucking word changed in its meaning? Because seriously, this is getting out of hand. Until it's changed, we're gonna keep hearing it, and we're gonna keep fucking having to go through this conversation every fucking time. Again, the definition was made, like fucking Blair said, it was made back in 1890s or whatever, and fucking it's nowhere near to what it was back then, to what it is today, to the fucking cancer tumor that it's become today. So, yeah, Onion Boy, keep fucking spewing your definition out, because one of these days it's going to get changed and you can't use it anymore.
Against feminism does not mean that you are against women's rights. It means that you're in opposition to the ideological framework in which feminism operates under.
In 1848, a bunch of people gathered for the sake of women being treated equally, for women to have voting rights, etc. Now I know you and your ignorance want to believe that feminism hasn't accomplished much since then. It's super convenient for you to have your position, as hating feminism is a pretty popular thing right now, due to a lot of people online having an incredibly uneducated perspective on feminism, and somehow the inability to focus on anything but negative when it comes to feminism.
It's not a matter of people focusing more on the negative, it's what feminism is, again, being portrayed as. When people think of feminism, they think of the most fucking loudest voices, which would be you, Anita Sarkeesian, Rebecca Watson, so on and so forth. Even Steve Shives is considered one of them. And what do we commonly see? They hate it when people try to debunk them. They hate people with different opinions, and they also hate it when people try to contest their opinions. And even their polls in this case, Mr. Onision. Oh God, your precious poll. But again, it's not because it's not like people just instantly saw feminism and were like, oh my God, it's a negative now, it's a negative. No, it's what it's become. It is a stigma. It's literally what it's become. We didn't sit there and look at it and say, oh my God, like the moment it started, and say, oh my God, it's fucking cancer. No, that's not the case at all. It's just, oh, fucking hell, dude. You're literally proving the point that it's literally that people. It's not that people are focusing on the negative, because you're literally focusing on the negative of everyone else. So how can you expect people to focus on the positive of feminism if you yourself cannot focus on the positive of equal rights with men and women? Mr. I think women are always superior, such and such, so on and so forth.
Thanks to feminism in 2016, women were finally allowed to have any job in the military. Thanks to feminism, these events also occurred.
This was not because of feminism. This was because Ash Carter, our United States Secretary of Defense, actually has been fighting a long time to allow women to have this kind of position. This is not because feminists were sitting out in the fucking White House going, we need to allow women to, like, fucking fire tanks and fire mortar shells. No, this was a man who did this to allow women to have these rights. It's not feminists who did this. So you're basically piggybacking off of the credit of a fucking senator. Oh my fucking God. Like, what the fuck, dude? You can't sit here and say that something that happened because that allows women these rights was because of feminism, when the person who did it doesn't even identify as a feminist, or even is a woman for that matter. I have never once in any protest rally have ever heard women sit there and say women need to be allowed on the front lines. Women need to be allowed to have these kinds of positions. Women need to be allowed this. Women need to be allowed that. The only thing I've heard them bitch about is the supposed wage gap, which has been debunked so many fucking times. Also, I also did research on the third one. Leon Panetta is the director of the Central Intelligence, former director of the Central Intelligence Agency. Him, a guy, as in male, allowed this to go through. As in, he's the one who was fighting for this, for all this. You're going to sit here and tell me feminism did that? You're going to piggyback off the credits again of someone else? Dude, just grow the fuck up. You can't sit here and say that something that happened because 2 U.S. senators passed it that do not identify as feminists and do not, under any shape or form, affiliate themselves with feminists, that this is the reason, that feminist is the reason why this has got cleared. That's not the case at all, and you know it. You just want to piggyback off the credit. It's like a little kid who drew a painting, and then you're coming by and snagging it and saying, I did this, this is because of what I did. That's not how it works, and everyone can see through that bullshit.
One of the most important being the rights women have when they're victims of violence, including victims of trafficking. Even still today, women are struggling with having rights to their own body. As for some crazy reason, some people seem to believe that even when a woman is raped, she is not allowed to abort the baby she was impregnated with by the rapist, because of course they no doubt have a religious agenda and care more about their made-up fairies than the victims right in front of them. Thanks to feminism, you can't discriminate against people based on sex. Yeah, this is why feminism is great. In fact, if you're a woman and you're sexually discriminated on, you can actually sue people. And that too is fucking awesome. Again, rape is a huge problem even in our first world country, and thanks to feminists, rape victims have more rights against the people who sexually violated them. Now, I'm only 2 minutes into your video, but I am going to go ahead and stop because I'd like to spend time with my family at some point today. But I think I've more than thoroughly established how uneducated you are, and also how obviously ungrateful you are. You, the person who's clearly battling against feminism, could very well be raped, and without feminism, the person who raped you would have even less of a chance of seeing any time in jail than he already does. And on top of that, if you got pregnant in a society without feminism, you would be
none of those laws that you listed got cleared because of feminism. None of them. I have never once heard any feminists list any of that shit that you've listed whatsoever. Another thing is, you're comparing third world problems with first world problems yet again, Onision. Do I really need to go through all this again? I'm gonna save my audience the trouble and not go through this because this is already being close to a fucking hour video.
forced to have that baby. And additionally, without feminism, you could also potentially be forced to marry the person who raped you. It's in Deuteronomy 22:28-29. Long before feminism had a foothold. Thanks to feminism, you don't have to spend the rest of your life maritally shackled to the person who sexually violated you. But if that individual didn't want to marry you, then guess what? Without feminism, he won't be forced to pay you child.
This is something that, again, it's hard to deny that this is because of feminism. This one I will let him have because I'm just so fucking sick and tired of this. But that's also proven how much we have evolved as a society. Back in the day, yeah, due to religious beliefs, you could literally rape a woman and get by with it. But that was because that was how society was back then. Like, I'm sorry, Onision, but that's how it was back then. I know you don't like hearing that. That's how it was. But you can't sit here and go into the past and say, well, if it wasn't for feminism, it would be because of this. No, it's because we've evolved as a society and realized that that holy book that you just listed is nothing more than a fucking fairy tale bullshit. But hey, you've already stated that, but that's not because of feminism. That's because we've evolved as a society and have pushed away from that aspect of it. And another thing is, people cherry pick off of those books. So let them cherry pick. But I mean, unless you're the Westboro Baptist Church, in which case go fuck off right ahead.
Child support. So here you are, a victim of a horrible crime, forced to bring a rapist's baby into this world, with no possible punishment given to the rapist, thanks to people like you using ignorance to fight against people who would fight for you. The majority of people do not commit crimes. The majority of people are not extremists. The majority of people live peaceful lives. Most of us know all this to be true because we've gone out in public and seen how consistently orderly things tend to be in the majority of this country, which happens to be primarily low crime areas. So considering how non-extreme most people are, wouldn't you think that most people who fight for women's rights are also non-extreme? They simply want equality between the genders. That does not make them an extremist. That does not make them something negative. It makes them decent. So in the future, instead of fighting against people who are fighting for you, you simply saying thank you would suffice.
Saying thank you for something that you didn't earn, that feminists didn't actually go through. And another thing is, no, feminists are not fucking normal people. I'm sorry, but they're not. There's no way in hell you can sit here and say that women are so fucking oppressed in the first world countries when you can literally sit here and I could literally go to fucking prison with no questions asked, and there are fucking people trying to pass laws that feminists are trying to pass that would literally sentence me to jail just because the woman is crying in the middle of the courtroom. Yeah, I'm sorry, but no. Thanks, but no thanks, Onision. Another thing is, I love how you don't fully debunk her video. Does that mean that the rest of it, that you could not because it was just so fucking solid? You couldn't rip on it anymore? I love how you use your family as an excuse, but I can't even fucking believe that you actually have a kid. A psychopath has a kid. But hey, whatever. Maybe in the future with this kid, you'll realize how much of a fucking dumbass you've been throughout all these years, and start growing the fuck up, and stop acting like a man-child. Seriously. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that you were a good person. You're a fucking psychopath. You literally are. You sit here and record your own wife going through a mental breakdown. Your fucking wife has severe memory issues, and you sat there and fucking recorded her and went to YouTube, and you fucking sit here and dry hump fucking concrete. That's not normal, dude. That's not normal at all. At least fucking with Filthy Frank, everyone knows that he's just being a fucking dumbass. He's not actually like that. Everyone just knows with Filthy Frank that he's just being a dumbass just to be a dumbass. In your case, no one knows whether you're joking or not. In your case, I think everyone knows that you're not. That you're literally this fucking psychotic. That you're literally fucking mental. That you literally are so fucking crazy. Another thing is, Onion Boy, you sit here and use opinions and polls that have no fucking evidence, that are not evidence whatsoever. Polls that you have literally fucking set up, so then no matter what would fucking balance in the favor of your fucking agenda, so to speak. But your poll backfired on you and proved that women are actually equal to men. And yet, feminism is here to make women superior to men. And I'm sorry for you, but it's not going to happen. Because we're going to keep calling you out for your bullshit, and we're going to keep fucking pushing you back and make sure that you can't pass laws that would fuck a person's life up. Talk to any person who's been convicted of a rape crime that fucking turned out to be false. Ask any of them how fucked up their life is thanks to feminists like you.